Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Jesse Jackson III. I'm the best-selling author and facilitator of the Don't Kick 'Em Out book and training series and the lead advisor and consultant here at our Superintendent Success Institute, which is off to a phenomenal start. One of the major issues that we have found early with superintendents and some people that are in other admin positions, which are in the program, it is the issue with classroom management, and it is the ability to manage the personalities and the student management that's occurring in the four walls of the classroom. One thing that I know we have done over the last 15 years, is classroom management is not being really taught properly. We're saying that it's something that it's not. If a person who has classroom management issues, to me, really struggles with planning and delivering their content, it's the entire pie. We often like to say if a person can't control the kid, well, that's called student management, right? Classroom management, student management. People have to understand the difference, and they have to understand how areas they need to develop, because what will happen is we'll have a teacher who believes they're good at classroom management because their kids are quiet or because the kids behave for them. But guess what? The kids haven't learned nothing. That's poor classroom management, man. This is what I'm trying to say. A person who has to learn classroom management needs to understand classroom management is a full process. It is not as much as getting kids to be good. We have some people that can't control the personalities, thus they can't teach. We have some people that can manipulate the personalities and don't teach. Is that good classroom management? It's not. See, so there has to be understanding. One of the things that I rolled out over the next 5 years, it was going to be our big issue. It's going to be the escalation in behavior. It's going to be the escalation in behavior in the four walls of in those schools, in those classrooms. The teacher has to be rewired. Now, what we're doing is we're putting new stuff on the teacher. We're trying to teach some new teaching techniques, and we're loading them up. I'm talking to a select group of people who really understand the bottom line of our business, which is production. If my people cannot manage the personalities that are being dropped in front of them for whatever reason, I don't need teachers to be therapists. If that's the direction you're going, I'm not for you, because what I'm telling you, that's going down the wrong road. Teaching and learning still reigns supreme, and there must be order, mandatory order, in the four walls of the classroom. And my friends, that is taught. That is an understanding. That is personal development. That is the development of oneself, the development of one's presence, the development of one's priorities and approach and ability to communicate, knowing the importance and need for confrontation, not conflict. Because we have some that like conflict. They like to argue with kids. Now, why would you think they would be any different? They're arguing with their own kids at home. They're arguing with their own situation at home. See, we're not teaching. We're not teaching the fundamentals. We call it blocking and tackling, right? The whole teacher model, one part is academic. One part is managing the parent. Another part is managing the structure of a classroom. And the other thing is managing the personalities. There are pillars to being a successful teacher, and student management is a pillar that has to be developed, has to be taught, and is something that we can do. So the one thing that I knew that I had to do this year, and I targeted it was going back to teaching the fundamentals of classroom management, the right approach, the right policies and rules, and the right fundamental everyday practice to being successful in the four-wall classroom. The things that we're going to teach, and because of my travel schedule, because it's a marathon, I know that I cannot go everywhere and go to all the schools that I'm being asked to. I know I can't do it. So what I have to do is I have to give everybody an opportunity and a competitive advantage. Okay, so what we're doing is I am bringing this course to you. I am breaking it down, and I'm telling you, we're just laying out the real deal pillars of classroom management. We're talking about how to understand what it really is, why it's gotten so destructive after COVID. You know, what are the pillars of dealing with destructive student behavior? What are the pillars of student management? How do you create a classroom structure that's extremely productive? How do you promote order? How do you promote ownership in a classroom? How do you teach consistency? How do you practice consistency yourself? How do you understand, how do you put yourself in aware to be aware of traumas and things that kids are going on with, but not letting that dominate and hijack the class? Man, we're letting kids hijack the whole class because they got personal problems. See, there is the paradigm between sympathy and empathy. They're not the same. And see, this is what I can say clearly. If we don't learn how to manage trauma and we go off all on this buttercup ideology of, well, the kids are going through so much. Oh, they got so much going on. They do got a lot going on. And guess what? When they leave us, they still do. The new paradigm of trauma freedom is teaching people how to deal with their problems, because unfortunately, they brought the problem from home and they got to learn how to deal with it when they leave. We are trying ourselves in our wisdom. We're thinking we're helping because we're trying to solve it for them or giving them a pass. Or some of us are tough on them, trying to teach them through it. I don't know any other way how to help people outside of teaching. And when you teach adults and children, you must have order, content, structure, non-negotiable boundaries, and understanding of what has to be done. See, this is what we're talking about. What are the positive behavior, the approaches that I know work in elementary, that I know work in secondary. So we got a secondary session and then we got an elementary session. They should never be done the same. They should because they're two different principles. I just was in the South yesterday and I asked to bust the trainings up. It's harder on me, but I know there's a different message for different groups. So you want to do a district wide and bring everybody because you think obviously that's good business, or you have so much time. This is what's going on. People don't have any time anymore. Why? Because they're filling up their training calendar with box checkers. And guess what? You stick with the box checking and see where you end up. People have gotten used to the trainings we're doing, so that's why they don't look forward to them anymore. That's why people bring their computers and want to do some work at the training. They're so used to box checkers, good information. They know information. You can't Google or go on YouTube and listen to my stuff. Man, I tell you, I'm better in person. I can tell you that right now. My content is pound for pound the best in the game. Nobody's bringing this stuff that I'm bringing it to the table in love. Teachers are, listen, I love teachers. Teachers, for many kids like me and in situations like mine, the teachers save your life. So this is why we have to do this. This is the content, do's and don'ts of dealing with disruptive behavior. The impact that social class is making on the process, the approaches to education today. Ideas that people are being taught at home that could be in conflict with what the teacher believes. Developing a healthy teacher identity of who you are as a teacher and how teachers change lives, how to build an appropriate student-teacher relationship, and how do we improve this engagement process to go along with the order you put in place. Folks, this for me probably is one of my favorite trainings. Is pound for pound, the real deal. It's pound for pound. I love it because it gives people answers and it really helps people to grow. It helps people to be better. It helps people to be more organized. It helps teachers to mature. And let me tell you something. I don't care how long you've been teaching. If you ever lose the spirit of a student and you ever lose the desire, if you're going to trainings that are not causing you to take notes, if you are a principal and your staff is tired of training because you didn't just filled up their training calendar with check the boxes, this is a training for you. Well, somebody tell me last week, man, dude, how did you light the group on fire that way? Because they were not looking forward to coming. They don't like the topic and they saw your name and they didn't know what you was going to say. That's funny right there. That's a good joke. It's a good, bad joke. This is what I deal with every day. I deal with the tough topics. The tough topics is what have to be dealt with. With this particular training, also with a registration, we'll send you our 9-book bundle, our classroom management 9-book bundle. It has our behavior books, right? So you have a set of books at the school. This is per campus. This is per campus. This is our Classroom Management Institute. It is per campus, right? So the reason you want to do it per campus is that you want to get your team together. What we have to get out of the habit of doing it doesn't work. I mean, I don't know what you think you're doing. I don't know if you think you're saving money. I don't know what you're thinking. But when it comes to training on specific topics, it is very important that you do not mix staffs, because everybody's campus has a different culture. So you'll hear somebody that they're not dealing with that, and they'll try to blow it off, change the energy in the room. So if you're coming to an online training, this is something that's very imperative to use for your PLCs, or to use in a time where our unit is together, and to literally to roll out, when you're discussing it and listening to what I'm saying and then discussing it, you're able to deal with critical matters. I do not do these trainings to be agreed with. I bring you the real deal, the very accurate knowledge you need, and the things you have to address. This is no opinions. We're past opinions. We need expertise. And if trainings are not bringing expertise, let me tell you, friends, they're questionable. My trainings, you're going to leave with something to do. When you come to my training, you're going to leave with something to do. So what we're doing is, I've been able to, in the middle of the travel, a person has been able to give us a few days here this month. You can see the days here. There's a day coming up in the next couple of days. Find a date that works for your group, and make sure, even if you use this for a staff meeting in the future, what I've asked to do is that once you get your registration, you're going to get the book bundle that's sent to the staff. Might be a good idea. I don't know what your budget is. If you get some of the bundles for the staff, so they can do a lot of their own independent reading. But the thing that you get in this particular time, we're going to leave the training up and available for 2 weeks. So if you register for it, you're going to have access to it on your campus with your campus number. And the key thing is, what I like to do is, during that time, if somebody from that campus is calling, if somebody from that campus is asking for guidance, I like to respond to that particular campus that registered. That principal can call me and ask for next steps. And that's what comes with the registration. So the thing is this, I'm talking to principals and superintendents about, let's be responsible, okay, for our staff. Our staff is begging for help. It's in our power to get it for them. I can't go everywhere. I have a full schedule this year. Now, some people are going to call anyway and say, Jackson, please come here. And guess what? I had 2 people call last week and say, listen, I know you're full. Can you get us in? And we made it happen. So certain situations we'll be able to do. But the overall, 1 week we got 42 requests. It's no way that I could do it. I'm appreciative of it, but I couldn't pull it off. Try to do it here and there. So this is the way that I can meet the needs of the people. I'm going online. I'm letting schools register. I have a link that allows people to get in, so nobody knows who's in there from their particular school. So there's going to be set block times. Please register your school. Please do it as an individual so you can have the talk time that you needed. I had one session last week. We had a lot of schools come in. The principal texted me during the training and said, can we open this camera up and can you talk to the staff for 10 minutes? And he was so appreciative. The people were wonderful. They got to ask some questions live. Those are things that happen in those type of private settings. So the thing that I want you to do is invest into it for your particular campus. Do this for your staff. If you know they need it, by all means, do it. All of the information is located there. We answer as many questions as we can. Particularly if you send them in early, I'll get them answered for you. It is our Classroom Management Institute. This is our Classroom Management Institute. Our Classroom Management Institute is just helping teachers to deal with what's going on in their classroom strategically, very wisely, and knowing how to approach the matters, knowing how to set the right structure in place. Teachers need help with approach. They need help with the structure, and then they need help with the ongoing practice. That's what this institute does. This thing is valued way up. It's typically it's up there. So the thing is, this is a flat fee. This is for your building. This is for all your teaching staff and your parents. Let's get them in there, get them the help they need. This year is going to be definitely one of our toughest with classroom management and behavior. Let's get them the help they need. That's why I'm here. This is something that can help you. Please move quickly. These dates have limited blocks to get in there. So just find a date that works for you. get in there. Let's go to work. Dr. Jackson here. Looking forward to working with you soon. I'll see you in class.